again, everybody. It's Rare Tangent. I'm going to be picking up right where I left off in my last video. I'm going to be clearing out some little minor details here and there, and the focus of the video is going to be working on some guard towers. I did a Minecraft circle chart in order to get a nice solid shape for these towers. They're not as tall as you would think they would be. Seeing as how the island was a lot smaller than how I intended it to be, I had actually had to improvise and scale everything down. But seeing as how the island's not so populated, it's kind of just a hub for like pirates and renegades to shelter for, you know, a week or months at a time, but then they'd be out to sea again. They basically drop up their treasures or their catch, and then they'd be out to sea again. So I didn't really structure it like a normal town. I tried to take more of a kind of like a defensive island on defending those treasures that they've accumulated over the years and gathered. So there's going to be a lot of guard towers and defensive structures like a garrison and a keep and things like that. There's going to be a lot of traps. There's going to be an armory and things like that. But it's not really going to have houses and things to hold the population, because that's not what the island's intended for. Like I said, it's going to be a week or two, maybe a month of downtime, and then they're out to sea again. So I am working on this tower here. I'm trying out some weird shapes, and so far nothing has really been visually appealing to me. So I'm messing around with some other things, and I finally got a look that I liked after a few tries. I ended up going with a wooden roof, just because they didn't really have, like, I don't think red would have looked well, so I ended up going with wood. Sandstone I think would have been too bland and dull. The wood gave it kind of like a nice humanistic look, like it was a man-made structure, but also made out of the resources that are abundant on the island, which is sand and sandstone. So as I'm finishing up the top of this tower here, I do copy and paste it. I don't realize where in accordance to the position I copied it from. So when I do try and paste it later on in the video, it takes me a few tries. Now I'm adding these little details along the corners of the tower to make it not look like a flat wall, because it just looks rough. It does not look good. So I'm messing around with a few things here and there, trying to give it a nicer look. I'm rounding off the bottom with stairs. That helped out a little bit. I kind of did these upside down stairs to act as support beams for the open area underneath it where the docks are. I ended up building a pillar up. I was gonna try having this weird pattern with the chiseled sandstone, but I really didn't like the way it came out, so I got rid of it, and I added the stairs in the base of the inside, and the top of the tower really isn't going to be practical. There's going to be windows closer towards the bottom of the tower that are going to be the lookout. Now I'm kind of setting up a basis for the road system that I'm going to be having set up here. So digging out these windows and breaking off some of the roof. And I ended up actually switching up my original design and adding kind of like a balcony look. I ended up sticking with this idea for a lot of the towers throughout the video, and I did this kind of like this opposite kind of pattern with the stairs on the windows to give it an interesting look. I was very pleased with the way this tower came out. I ended up using this as a basis for the rest of my videos, or rest of my towers in the video. You'll notice a lot of the upside down stairs and odd patterns for the towers. And I ended up doing kind of like a X pattern or a cross pattern going up the sides of the building, just again to make it not look so flat. And then I just added some torches to help with the lighting at night, because with the shaders mod, when it gets nighttime, it gets dark, so that'll help out with the lighting issues. I added a door, and I'm going to add the inside later on in one of my next videos, or maybe off camera. I'm not gonna record everything because I don't want to spoil all of the hidden, tips and tricks and things like that, like where all the treasure chest locations are for the PvP map, where all the the best items are, like the best sword or the best bow or things like that. There's an aerial look of the island. I was very, very happy with the way this tower came out. So here I am, copy and pasting it. And as you can see, I tried to paste it in the air and didn't quite come out right, so I undid that and tried placing it, but forgot where in accordance I was when I copied it. So after a few tries, I finally got it right, and I just ended up adding a little bit of sand to even out the bottom of the tower here. Now when I built the original, it was conjoined with the side of the island, so I had to clear some of that up off when I copy and pasted it. And I missed some of the roof when I tried to copy and paste it, so I'm fixing that and then adding the rest of the roof. And that tower is pretty much done. And I'm clearing out some room for the rest of the base and where the door is gonna go. Sticking to the pattern I had before, I ended up doing a stair and half slab roadway. That's what I was going to stick for this village, and probably at many other villages. It just looks a lot nicer than if you were to just do a flat road or whatever. So I'm just lighting the rest of this tower up, and then I'm going to end up putting the foundations for one of our next buildings, which is going to be the garrison. It's going to be the hub for the Resistance's soldiers, and where a lot of the weapons and things like that are going to be held. I was trying to find out how to do a roadway here. I thought about doing a bridge that overwent this little ditch, but I, after a few times, failed and could not get it the way I wanted it to. So I ended up scratching the whole idea and just went and put it off for later. I'm still not the greatest at building certain things. I know my proportions right there weren't right. I could have expanded it out and then did like an archway underneath it, and it probably would have turned out alright, but I ended up doing something later and I like the way it came out. So as you can see, I'm trying to build like a structure, a pillaring structure at the bottom of it. Cannot quite get it right, and so I gave up. I tried to do like guardrails, but wasn't really working out for me, so I just scratched the whole project. Then I'm moving on to the garrison. I started clearing out a little bit of land here. I kind of freeformed the shape. I really like the way it turned out in the end. Now I continue to clear out some more of this land area, and I start to plot out the foundation of the outer corners of the garrison. I did 2 towers on opposite angles, or opposite corners of the building, and then I kind of squared the actual housing out, and then the entranceway is one of the towers. And then here's the entering tower. And then I closed it off. Then I started to clear out some more of the inside. Now after I cleared out the inside of this, I really wasn't sure how I was going to build the inside of it, but I just started to go ahead and build up. In my opinion, that's one of the best ways to form ideas of how to build buildings. Is you start to build up, you stop on certain layers, you build higher on other layers, and you get kind of this tier look of building. And you have your first floor with stairs that could go up to the next, and other things like that. I just started to chip away at some of the dirt that might have been in the way of the tower. So here I am back at the garrison, and I'm just building up once more. Like I said, I really didn't want to make these towers that big. The whole island itself isn't going to be big. The only thing that might be big is the underground treasury that I'm going to be doing in one of my next videos. That's going to be where the housing will be, the you know, anything that would be related to holding the treasure, or food, things like that. It's all going to be on the underground treasury, because I didn't want this to be some open city with the wealth that's found from these pirates and these exiles to just be sitting out in the open. Like, I wanted to make use of that giant pillar in the background, and that's going to be a citadel. Now, I did kind of like this cornered walkway connecting the towers. I kind of had a neat idea for the walkway. I tried out a few ideas, but in the end there was this one that really caught my attention, and I ended up going with that one. And then after clearing out that, I started to work on the other side. And I was trying to think of how to do a guard railing for this little walkway on top of how I was going to do these arches. I kind of just did a simple arch, stairs and a half slab. Came out alright. Can't really complain about it. So I ended up copying the same thing and doing it on the other side. After finishing that, I started to work on these correlations on the outside of the walkway. Wasn't sure how to handle the corner there, but I ended up going with a weird shape in the end, and I was using that as kind of like an overlaying walkway for a courtyard I'm going to be putting in the center of the building. This is basically going to be one of the layers of the two-layered walkway I'm going to be building. It's going to be the second story, and I ended up copying the correlations on the other side. I couldn't find a good pattern, so I ended up just mirroring them. And after finishing that, I thought about how high I was going to go with these next few towers. So I ended up going up just a couple layers. I think it was like 8 blocks or something like that. And I ended up doing another arch in order to close off that entryway. And I thought about doing a fancy like window above the archway, but I ended up just closing it off and building up. After getting to a height level that I liked, I tried to do a different type of roof. I wanted to have like a peak or like a window in the middle of the roof. So I kind of thought it out and figured out how I was going to do it in my head. And I kind of just built out a little bit. Kind of made it look like a bowl, the bottom of a bowl. And after building out a couple layers, I ended up to build straight up with glass. I took some glass blocks and built up as kind of a window for this tower. It overlooks the sea and the mountainside next to it. So I figured what perfect of a way to observe your surroundings than a giant tower that you can easily look out of, but there's not really any threat from having that open space. So I thought I had messed up on that corner. My math was a little off, so I ended up redoing it and fixing it, and here I am adding some more corners to the roof, and I'm starting to build my way up. And I thought I messed up on that corner again, and I just left it the way it was. Now I continue to finish off the roof here, and as I do so, I start to try and leave a space for the window on the area that is 4 wide. As you can see, I skipped a stair there. That's going to be the exit and entry point where the window is going to be. I didn't need to make it too high, so I was trying to save as much room as I could. I really wish I would have started the space a little earlier, but in the end I'm very happy with the way it came out. And that's that first tower. Now I'm gonna go ahead and light up the inside of this this tower here. Digging out some windows in the process. I'm lighting it up and adding a fence kind of window. I am adding torches to light up the walkway here. And I just zoomed out to take an area, like a background view of how it looked, and then I started to build stairs going up to the peak. I tried to mess around with a few ideas. I really like the way it came out. There's not really any other purpose right now for this tower, but just to be an outlooking aerial view kind of building. It overlooks the entire island, which is exactly what I was trying to go for. It is just the right height, without it being this massive structure, to get what I wanted it to get done. So you have your windows, you can easily look outside, and then if you need a 360 view, you can just hop right up to the roof. Now I try to figure out a way to light up the roof. I tried doing 2 torches on the opposite side like that, but I think after a while I ended up getting rid of them to conceal the effect of the peak up there. That way when someone's like overlooking the village, nobody knows, to kind of give that Big Brother's always watching you kind of feel, or you know, they always know what you're doing kind of feeling. So you know, I think that came out perfectly. I mirrored the entryway on this side as best I could, except on the entryway I ended up trying to make a face. I think it turned out absolutely perfect. My only wish is that I would have built the building 3 more blocks longer, so I could have mirrored this face on all 4 sides, or just had it on like the outer rims or something like that. But the face, I believe, came out perfectly. It's kind of hidden because of this archway right here before entering the tower, but still I think it came out very, very well. And once again I ended up going with a wooden roof. Now I wasn't really happy with the way this roof came out. I might come back and redo it, but for now I think it's alright. It's a different type of roof. So I mean, it gets the job done. You can't really notice the off tiles and things like that, so I mean, it's not really that big of a deal, but just because I like to try and make everything as nice looking as I can, which I know I don't always do, but at the same time. So there's me rounding off the roof there, and you'll see me digging out these little holes and filling up the inside with lights and floor and things like that. As I fill in the floor, I add ladders to get to the windows here, and I wanted to kind of have like a kind of like a hiding spot up where those stairs were, but I ended up scratching the idea and implementing the face. I didn't really do a stop and like look at the face really. I tried to replicate it on the other side, but I had noticed that the buildings, I had structured them entirely different. So I kind of just left that one the way it was, and it gave it a unique feel. I'll see you guys in my next video. I hope you enjoyed. Bye.